O'Neill Capital Advisors is a financial marketing platform and a thought leader in the blockchain and crypto space. And with me is CEO Dennis O'Neill of O'Neill Capital Advisors. So great to have you here.
Great to be here, Jane. Thank you so much.
I gave a short little brief summary of what you're doing, but kind of explain a little bit more about how you're working, what you're doing.
Sure. My background is 30 years of investment banking. I helped start two of the largest regional investment banks in Chicago, and then I ran the SBI E2 Capital Investment Banking Office out of Chicago. So I've raised a little bit over $2 billion in early stage capital. I've been involved in over 70 public companies. Many of them I've took public. And I've spoken at dozens of the private equity, venture capital, and small cap conferences here and abroad. And now I'm considered to be a thought leader and an expert on blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and security token offerings.
Okay.
I've spoken at 25 conferences globally, many of them in Asia, which is, those markets are a little bit more evolved for blockchain and crypto. And now I'm here with you.
Okay, great to have you here. So what was it about the blockchain and crypto that made you think that was a promising area to kind of move your resources into?
Sure, I think that the biggest issue that we had was that earlier stage company, attracting capital, private equity, venture capital, was okay, but it was still a little dicey for there was a lot of companies not getting funded. And then when they did get funded, I mean, traditionally what we would do is we'd take them public, and then they would trade on the, on the stock, on NASDAQ, and then we would end up with, we would do future financings. The problem ended up to be to where that all the regional investment banks went out of business. There used to be 220 of them, maybe a little bit over 10 years ago. Now there's like 5.
Did they all get part of mergers, or?
No, there were 4. I mean, basically they were regulated out of the market. And unfortunately, so that market dried up. There was no support for those earlier stage companies, privately or publicly. And then, as well as that, there was a lot of naked shorting of smaller companies, and they would get attacked, and you didn't have these army of brokers to defend you in the marketplace.
Okay.
So I thought there has to be a better way to do this. And with blockchain, it makes it almost impossible to illegal short sell a token. So unless you're on one of these national exchanges like Bitcoin or something like that, but even still, that there's a big enough audience to defend against that.
Okay, so then, and you obviously think this is an area that has growth ahead, blockchain. So what is it about that you think is going to change society?
Well, I mean, let me go from 2 different perspectives. One is that if you look at security token offerings, if traditionally to do a stock trade, you call a broker, the broker goes through a brokerage house, it goes through a market maker, that goes through a clearinghouse, that goes through DTC, that goes through a transfer agent that settles in 3 days. And you have a lot of middlemen, and there's some type of criminal activity that happens in there as well, or manipulation. With the security token offering, it happens immediately. There are no middlemen.
Okay.
So what happens is just faster, cheaper, safer, 100% transparent way of doing business. And I think that you're going to start seeing all assets tokenized, not only real estate, but you'll start seeing all stocks, because it's just a smarter, better, cheaper, more transparent way to do business.
Yeah, well, I remember when trades would take place at the Chicago Board of Trade or the New York Stock Exchange, that there'd always be a few extra pennies added on to things along the way, you know. So, but technology is changing.
Yeah, for sure. So, now it's definitely, the market's evolving. This is the future. Everything's going to be tokenized. Everything's going to this asset class. And all the biggest players are definitely saying it.
Now, when you say everything will be tokenized, like all assets, like
all assets,
real estate,
artwork, contracts, houses, cars could be tokenized. I mean, basically, we're going to start with the most exciting part about that is that when you tokenize illiquid assets, like a $150 million apartment building or something like that, now you can get them into bite-sized chunks, maybe $25,000 chunks, and they'll trade 24/7, 365 days a year. So now you're taking illiquid assets and making them liquid. And now and the data behind that is going to be very valuable. And then you're going to start seeing asset classes that are mixed with different types of assets within them, kind of like an ETF of different baskets.
Or like a REIT or something.
Yeah, but it'll be like, it could be some venture capital, it could be some assets, it could be some, different types of assets. And all that data that's going to be derived from that is going to be unbelievably valuable, and it's not available in this market today.
Data is the new oil, they say.
No doubt, for sure.
Okay, so finally, what do you look for in companies that you work with?
Sure. We don't do any of the seed rounds or any of those types of deals. I mean, we're looking for A to C rounds. What we look for is high-quality management team with a track record of success within the sector of the market they're actually operating in. Second is that we're looking for a product or a service that's finished, or it has to be very close to being finished. Okay. We want to see that they've raised at least some money and deployed some money so that we can see how they've utilized the capital. We're looking for companies that are disrupting either major markets or markets that are growing very, very quickly, so that if they are successful in what they're doing, that it'll be exponential returns. And then lastly, we're looking for fair valuations, because our network is a little bit over 40,000 investors. The majority of them are family offices, hedge funds, money managers, venture capital funds, crypto funds. And they're going to take you through the due diligence, and you're going to have to be able to justify your valuation.
Okay, very fascinating. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jane.
And thank you as well for joining us. We'll be right back.